God bless. What's going on, y'all? So, I think the last episode we had a frame for Dylan's bike. The original frame we were gonna use was a V-twin panhead frame. That frame had problems, and we had swapped it with Mazos, and then that frame had problems, so decided to say screw all that. We took Dylan's original frame and I sent it down to a spot in Anaheim called Linco. Shout out to Linco. Get this thing dipped and stripped, and we are gonna be building ourselves a hardtail. What's going on, y'all? It's Yeti from Yeti Machine Company. If you're watching this, I appreciate you. If you do already subscribe to my page, awesome. If not, go subscribe, go give it a like. Also, just so you know, if you check out the link up top, got my website up there. I got shirts, I got hats, I got all kinds of cool stuff. So hit that up, get a shirt, support me. Thanks, y'all. So, if this is your first time watching my channel, thanks for tuning in. I do a lot of fabrication on like old Harleys and cars and all kinds of bullshit. So if you like this video, do me a favor, subscribe, like it, leave a comment, tell me I'm doing something wrong or right or whatever. All right, so this is that V-twin frame that Dylan bought originally. I really don't like how the bends are on this thing. I'm not trying to shit on V-twin, but if you look, the bend is way up here on this one, and it's a little tighter. This one's a little bit looser. Just doesn't look right. So, but what we're gonna do is set up the frame jig to be... What? That's all right.
Why are you running?
We're gonna set up the frame jig to be within like the same length and area as this one, and then pull this frame out and set up Dylan's frame in it. Plus, I think he sold this frame, so he needs to get rid of it. So I need to use it real quick. I spent the last I don't know how many minutes basically taking this stock panhead frame and setting it up in my jig to kind of use it as a template, so that when I put the Dylan Shovelhead frame in here, I got a good length and a good height for the rear axle. I'm sure I could probably look up the dimensions and measure it, but in my stupid squirrel brain, this seemed like an easier idea. It probably wasn't. I'll probably verify with the measurements again. But now that I got the jig set up, I'm gonna break the frame out of it and stick Dylan's frame in, and then, yeah, so. That does not look right at all. Why is that so far off? Yeah, that's like way different.
Much later.
What's going on, y'all? Long time no see. It's been a little bit. Sorry about that. I don't even know where we left off the last time we filmed. Got some clips of us cutting it down, so that's bringing us up to speed of where we're at today. So today, we're gonna start fitting the new hardtail that I'm learning how to build as we go. I got me a tubing bender, haven't really posted anything about it. Got this JD squared bender. I got the manual one because I'm cheap, so I get to hand crank all this shit out. But we're gonna use this to bend up our own hardtail, which is a little scary, and also I'm stoked on it because I'm learning how to bend up tubing too. So anyways, first thing we're gonna do today, we need to go through and kind of section all this stuff out. I'm gonna clean up these cuts because I just kind of went at it like a Neanderthal with the bandsaw, and it's a little crooked. We're gonna set our length and our height for the rear end, and then we're gonna start bending up some tube. So basically right now, I'm gonna get rid of all this shit. That's the plan. This might not be the best tool to do it with actually, but we're gonna see. Well, we got most of this cleaned up, got most of that bracket off. I've still got some cleaning to do, but in the interest of getting to film some tubing bending today, I got these sides cleaned up. That's mainly what I was worried about, so we have a good, fresh piece of the original frame to start off from. So the next thing I'm gonna do is get the whole rear part with the axle plate set up so that we're in position to start mocking up some tubes. I'm gonna kind of wing it. You know, that's what's cool about choppers is you kind of get to build them however you want. So we're gonna go with a very similar style rear as a panhead frame, but I'm gonna go a little bit wider, mainly because of the tires and wheels that we're gonna, not super wide like a big fat tire chopper, but like an extra inch, 3/4 of an inch wider, just because on this frame we're gonna be using disc brakes. So it's not gonna have the same spacing like you would for a drum, and then go from there. So that's what we're gonna do. So we decided to go a little bit narrower than I originally planned. The back of that FXR, this wheel set came off an FXR. Back of that FXR is about 9.5 inches. We're gonna run it about 9 because we don't need as much clearance as that FXR. I had it set to about 10 and it just didn't, it looked too fat. I don't want it too wide, I don't want it too narrow. So we're kind of playing with some numbers. And all this stuff is just theoretical, you know, I'm kind of figuring it out. I'm sure if I wanted to reproduce like a exact copy of a stock Harley frame, I'd care more about the numbers, but really what I care about is how it looks and how it functions. So as long as I don't run myself into any major roadblocks, I want it to be as form-fitting as possible. Yeah, that's better. That looks way better. So I'm building my own rear end, number one, because I like building my own shit. The hardtail kits that are available, none of them had the dimensions that I'm kind of looking for. Panheads, the lower legs are inch material, and on shovels, this is actually 1.125 inches. You're gonna get it with 1 inch lower legs, and there's always this funky transition that you see it go from fatter to narrower if you look close, and I'm a dork and a nerd, so I always see that shit and it always bothers me. Lowbrow Customs actually makes these axle plates. Now these axle plates are pretty badass. If you look close on like a panhead, it's got kind of like an hourglass shape that holds the adjuster and all this crap. And you usually have an adapter or something that you make to run a 3/4 inch axle, you know, like on a standard Timken bearing instead of like a star hub, right? Well, these lowbrow setups actually are cut in a way that you don't have to run those adapters. It's just axle to axle plate. This is not something that Harley ever had from the factory. Or the other thing that I like about them is they made these lower sockets 1.125 inches. So that 1.125 inches matches the diameter of the tube. Now I know a lot of people bend it up with just 1 inch because, I mean, I'm only assuming, but the dies for the tubing benders are really expensive. Like that damn tubing bender die costs more than the whole tubing bender itself. So if you wanted to bend up, you know, the top legs in 1 inch and the bottom legs in 2 inches, or you just spent $1,000 on dies. Luckily, I'm stupid as fuck, and I bought both of the dies. So I have an inch die and an 1.125 inch die, just so I didn't have to see this little transition. So honestly, the reason why is because I'm stupid and I'm a dork and I wanted to do it myself. So here we are. Let's bend some tubes. So because this is a manual bender, I had to drill some holes in my concrete, and I tell you what, I fucked up and I didn't have a hammer drill. So I tried to drill it with a concrete bit and a hand drill with this one, and it took me about 2 hours. So I went and borrowed a hammer drill from somebody and did this one in like 5 minutes. So if you gotta drill holes in your concrete, don't do it with a hand drill.
Why'd it take you so long to get one of those?
I've had it forever.
You been using all these grinders?
Yeah, that's not good. I really need a bandsaw. I need a lot of things, but bandsaw would be cool. Yep, I'm dumb.
You've been using sawzalls and
Yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, that should be enough. We gon' see. All right. Let's do 4 inches. Always make sure you tighten this guy. That guy stops everything from slipping. You don't want to crank it because you'll pinch it. But so what's cool about this JD Squared is you have this movable dial wheel. So first thing you do is you take all the tension out of it, right? And this is just a piece of welding wire. I have that set to 0. I'm gonna bend it to 26. Now, it's not just gonna go like straight to 26 because every piece of material has a spring back. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So. Getting up to 20 now. That would be 26, right? But if I let that go, it's gonna spring back quite a bit, and I think I fucked up. Let's see. So we're gonna go all the way to 30, because I got about 6 degrees of spring back. Now, if I let this thing back, we're at about 27. So let's see how that looks. Nope, didn't make it long enough.
too short.
Too short, stupid. Okay. See, I always learn the hard way, and I'm still learning how to use these tubing benders. Like, there's a way to calculate that. I just got a little too excited, I think. I'm actually pretty good with geometry. It's like calculating the center of rotation shit. I don't know. I'm still learning. Huh. Right on the money, I think. Wait, did I measure? That's another thing you're supposed to do. They said on all the YouTube videos, measure from the same place every time. So that's 8 inches. That'll give us what we need. Six. That's better. That's better. So we've got the top kind of figured out. I'm gonna start bending up bottom legs for this thing. Getting the hang of this stupid ass thing. I like it. I like it a lot. It's gonna look good. You squint, it's mint. Well, that's it for this one. Got started on the bending of the tubes. I didn't realize I only had one piece of material, so I ran out and I screwed up my one piece. So it is what it is. That's learning and cutting and welding, baby. So do me a favor, if you like this video, go subscribe to the channel. Go check out my website. I've got some new long sleeve t-shirts. They're on the website already. If you want to stay more up to date with me, follow me on all social media, TikTok and Instagram and Threads, I think. It's at Yeti Machine Co. If you want to go to my website, it's www.yetimachineko.com. Thanks.